All right, people. So we've just got a new update in the Lil Durk bond hearing situation, and I think the best person to tap in for this one would be my guy, 1090 Jake, because he actually did a video on this just the other night, and it seemed like, just like me doing my little reaction that you may have seen, or you may or may not have seen. You know, everybody reacted to Lil Durk trying to kind of make a maneuver to basically get himself bond and basically deny the fact that he had sampled the screams of Quando Rondo after the murder of his cousin on a song, and he was saying that this was a fan-made mix and the song was made before the murder even happened. Now, I casted my doubts on this and a lot of people were very upset. We're going to get to that because I will confront the criticism head on. But 1090 Jake made a video on his channel breaking it down, and then suddenly the feds hit back with their response the next day, and 1090 Jake has had to jump out with another update. So I feel like that's the best place to start. I think he's got the paperwork, as he often does. So let's react to what Jake said about it and basically just get to the bottom of this back and forth about Durk's bond hearing. I don't know, is there anything you want to say before we get started with this one, Remo?
Nah, shout out my guy Jay. You already know Jake got to work. We finna see what they're going on. And free Durk, man. Free Durk. You think he Durk?
2000.
I'm saying let's get to the bottom of all the evidence before we free Durk.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's see what they're saying in the bond.
Let's check when these songs came out before we let Durk back loose.
25. I dropped a video on how Lil Durk could be getting released after new documents debunk evidence posted by fans. And the very next day, the feds clapped back. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all, and y'all rocking with me. And for this video, I brought the clap back because in the last video, y'all got on my ass in the comments. So I brought it back for y'all. Matter of fact, we'll do it again. What's up, everybody? It's 1090 Jake.
Reload, you know.
Rocking with y'all, y'all rocking with me. For this video, we're gonna be speaking on the feds clapping back at me, Durk, his legal team, because I dropped the video and the very next day, they shot back with a list of reasons not to release Lil Durk. On April 28th, 2020.
This is the thing, and this is the thing that I said. This is the sort of thing that makes people want to call me a fed, is that I always felt like that one lyric that they were using against Durk, like having done a whole fucking deep dive into this thing and found loads of examples where Durk's semi-self-snitching, it just seemed to me like, yo, the feds could throw 10 more lyrics on top of this one that came out way after the murder, are even more incriminating, even more painting more of a picture of him, you know, not necessarily being someone that should be released on bail. And I guess this is sort of what's ended up happening, but I know that the examples that come in ain't even all that, so it's kind of like, I just feel like the feds, it's like they got loads of lyrics and like evidence in the tuck that they can probably pull out at any point. But
my thing is, if they're only using lyric evidence, then is that all they have? Then I don't know. It's not looking too good on their end. It's like, because at the end of the day, it's reasonable doubt. If they can't prove that Durk murdered, that Durk hired those guys to murder, then it's like, at the end of the day, Durk wasn't in the car with those dudes when they did what they did. So like,
the thing is, though, Durk is focusing on the lyrics to try and get his bail right now and to try and get his bond. But it's like there's way more evidence than the lyrics. So it's like these two sides of the law, these two sides, lawyers on each side, they're arguing based on these lyrics. But it's like there's other stuff. But it's like Durk's team ain't really trying to focus. They ain't trying to talk about the other stuff, the iCloud messages, all that kind of thing. So the argument right now is just about the lyrics. But I feel like there's probably more evidence. But let's keep going because I know Jake got the work and he's going to tell us what's what.
5. The federal government would file its opposition to Durk being reconsidered for bond. The feds would start strongly saying Durk is charged with directing 6 hitmen to travel across the country to hunt and kill Quando Rondo. Durk allegedly orchestrated and financed a brazen murder plot that ended with shooters ambushing Quando at a gas station in broad daylight, killing his cousin Lil Pab. Immediately after learning his hitmen were arrested, the feds would allege Durk attempted to flee the country. In the early hours of October 24th, 2024, federal and local law enforcement executed multiple search warrants on OTF members throughout Chicago, arresting the hit squad. Soon after, the FBI learned Durk had been booked on 3 international flights, including one to a non-extradition country, meaning if he made it there, the feds wouldn't be able to get him back. Durk would skip the first 2 flights and was arrested when he showed up to board a private jet scheduled to leave the US. Once in custody, Durk was considered a flight risk and danger to the community. To prove such danger, they reiterated he sent the hit squad across the country to hunt and kill a rapper. They also
so like, here's just the thing that I think is interesting about this, right? Is it's like the way that the indictment is framed is like, yo, Lil Durk sent this hit squad. Even though right now they're just arguing about lyrics, I wouldn't be surprised if, I guess right now, like the trial's going through the discovery phase. The feds probably got, they apparently had what, like 20,000 pages of evidence. So I feel like they almost got other stuff in the tuck that they don't even like. They don't even necessarily want Durk. Not that they don't want Durk to know about it, but it's almost like, look, we're gonna hit when the trial comes. We're gonna hit you with so much other stuff that it's like, you know, Durk's just focusing on the lyrics right now. But like the way that they're framing the indictment is that Durk sent the hit squad. They must have more evidence than just the lyrics to make that conclusion. If you know what I'm saying.
I mean, if they're going off the text messages, trying to say that Durk sent the messages out saying, "Hey, don't purchase plane tickets and all that stuff on my account," or you know what I'm saying, with my visas or whatever. That is the most damning shit that I've seen. Like, what else have you seen that they released so far? So yeah, if they do have evidence, they keeping it in the tuck. But like, just
they saying they got so much, right? This is the one thing, is it's like they were saying it was like what, 200 gigabytes or like it was like 20,000 pages or something. Again, it's not really the right way of necessarily like, you know, explaining how much evidence you have.
Yeah, about 230 gigabytes.
Like 230 gigabytes. I mean, shit, that could just be like 4
videos.
documentaries
So
if you're picking a long one. 20,000 pages of evidence. I mean, I don't know what's on those pages. But again, we don't know what that evidence is, but audio recordings, video recordings, witness statements, all these pages, you know that we got iCloud messages, I'm sure we got lyrics. So yeah, they're arguing about these lyrics right now, but bruh, they're going to be 20,000 pages. They're going to have to argue about what to be thrown out of court, what to actually be allowed what's permissible. And then, you know, right now Durk's just trying to like use the thing of them doing a remix of his song, putting the audio of Quando screaming to almost be like, oh, the whole thing's bullshit, like let's just let me out. And I feel like the feds are kind of just going to be like, nah, we got other stuff in the top. And that's not me hating on Durk or wishing on his downfall. That's just me giving an objective view. If the narrative that they've formed is that Lil Durk sent the hit squad, I feel like there's going to be more than this one lyric, because the lyric don't even say nothing about Durk organizing the thing.
I mean, at the end of the day, this is the feds. When the feds come get you, they're not coming to get you just off speculation and shit. They doing their homework for the most part. So if they having 20,000 pages, then yeah, they probably do feel like they got something in there. I mean, I'm surprised that they're only using the songs to keep them locked up. That's not that strong.
I feel like,
if you ask me,
I feel like it's like they're not just using the song to keep him locked up, but he's trying to like refute the one song. It's like, imagine it's like the Big U indictment's got all of these different things in it, and it's like Big U turning around and being like, I never embezzled that money, like that was a legit.
Kind of how they were saying like Big U just never denied.
But what about all this extra shit? Yeah.
I mean, I feel you on that, but at the end of the day, the most damning evidence right now that we've seen so far on Durk is the text messages where he told them to don't buy any plane tickets and shit.
But then
what would you say the most damning evidence?
Him physically being in Los Angeles on a private jet when this went down is crazy. I didn't know that. To know that, like,
but it's
was there, he was in the city? Why?
But that's not that crazy, because at the end of the day, he wasn't in the car with them dudes. If Lil Durk was in the car with them dudes, then there's nothing else we could say. We were like, oh yeah, chalk it up, he's cooked.
But you don't need to be in the car to be wrapped up in the murder. That's the thing. I totally understand what you're saying, but to be wrapped up in the murder for hire, you don't got to be in the car.
No, 100%. That's why he's already wrapped up in it. But I'm just saying though, like for right now, you still, if he got Brian Still, right?
Brian Still jumping. Now he got
Brian Still's about
to cook.
He's about to cook up. So if they can't prove that Durk hired these dudes, because at the end of the day, Durk could literally just be like, look, I hang out with a whole bunch of street guys. I tell them all the time, hey, don't use my cards and shit. Like, I don't want to be caught up in anything you guys do. Even if niggas was selling weed and shit out of hotels and shit that I'm paying for, I don't want y'all to be doing anything in my name. I'm a rapper right now. I got too much shit going on. He could have several text messages where he sent that out. And you know
I think that's still going to look bad.
It looks bad. I'm not saying it doesn't look bad, but at the end of the day, it's still reasonable doubt. And you have to prove that Durk paid these guys to murder Lil Pops or Quando Rondo. So it's like, how much evidence do y'all have to prove that Durk did it and that these guys just didn't go out on their own, just doing some shit that they think Durk wanted done just to be in his favor? Because at the end of the day, people do shit like that all the time. Like, niggas might just try to catch it, like, body and shit, just be like, oh, yeah, like, I know the nigga gonna fuck with me, they want this dude gone. You know how that shit go.
But Durk's a big OTF. That's the problem, is it's like, you know, oh, they was not doing it, but then they on your label, and then you're doing songs with them after the murder happened. Even if Durk's trying to say, well, I separated myself from them, they all over the Loyal Bros album. Yeah. Loyal Bros, they loyal. What's this Loyal Bros thing mean? Like, You know what I'm saying?
It looks ugly, but like at the end of the day, the lawyer is still gonna have to prove that Durk paid those guys for murder for hire. So it's a chance for Durk. You know what I'm saying? I ain't just saying he's cooked.
No, I'm with you. All right, let's see where Jake goes to this.
Yeah, let's see what Jake got.
Would prove Durk's lyrics were written 7 months prior to the murder of Lil Pap. Durk saying look on the news and see your son screaming no makes more sense that he was talking about someone's mom hypothetically watching the news of their son's death and screaming no.
Okay, so look, first off, I just want to point out, right, Jake obviously is a very good editor here. He's playing in the background the edited video that they're saying
months prior,
taken out of context, right? Look,
prior to the murder of Lil Pap.
Green light, go.
Durk saying look on the news and see your son screaming no.
And so they've superimposed the Quando Rondo screaming no at the murder over this. This is a take that came out after the murder happened. However, the song also came out after the murder happened. They're saying look on the news, see your son screaming no. As Jake is about to say, yeah, it could be the mother seeing the murder on the news. It's just too perfect, and I just don't think. I think if you then did a murder for hire, or if even if you were not involved and your biggest op was seen on the news screaming no, you wouldn't put that song out. Like, I just can't believe he put the song out, regardless of whether or not it was recorded before, because the shit happened and they released it after.
But you gotta understand, people do that all the time. Lil Durk's whole career has been mocking people that he don't like. So Durk dissing people that he don't like is not random to me. Like, his whole career, he's been going at people he don't like. So this is just another example. I mean, it is specific, but also so with him being an entertainer, this is the type of stuff that entertainers do. So in court, he could argue that, hey, I'm an entertainer. This is the type of entertainment that I do. I didn't kill anybody, but I was trolling the fact that this situation happened. I mean, I'm just saying, you gotta keep
that's
it.
the thing. It's like when you put that in front of a jury, and it's like, look, I didn't really do it. I was just trolling about it. But then, like, the guys who did do it are signed to my label, and they're all over my album talking about they know that we did it. And then, like, also I was on my private jet with the main guy that organized it and handed out the ski masks. And, like, I was just chilling in the state, and then, like, they was out for an In-N-Out burger while I was at the hotel. And then, like, you know what I'm saying? It's just, like, the jury's going to look at all of that and be like... And I'm not wishing on Durk's downfall. I'm just being realistic.
Nah,
a lot of people
100%.
being very unrealistic right now.
Yeah, 100%. But also, it's still, I'm looking at reasonable doubt. Like, if you can't prove that Durk paid them dudes, like, unless they just got some shit where Durk was in there like, hey, nigga, 50,000, 50,000, 50,000, then I don't know. Because it's just like...
We might, and who knows, right? When the case actually goes to trial, we're going to find out everything that they got. But, like, man, it's just such...
I just feel like Young Thug...
I like Durk's music. I
fuck with Durk, too, even though he don't really fuck with... I don't know if he don't fuck with me, but I know he definitely wasn't feeling out of him and shit.
Yeah.
But he said fuck all that no jumper shit, whatever he said. No, you know, niggas feel how they feel.
It's unfortunate.
But... I don't know, man. I feel like there's reasonable doubt. Like, Durk could have just been innocent. He just happened to be in LA at the time. Like, I don't know, bro. And then, bro, I had a phone call with Quando Rondo and Brick Baby at the time. And, bro, on that phone call, like, the way Quando Rondo literally convinced me that it was some whole other shit that happened.
Maybe he was keeping it fully G.
And that's what I'm starting to realize. Like, hey,
Quando a real one, man.
Bruh. And then, like, if that phone call was just, like, out there for the world to hear, bro, like, nigga, I don't know. Just from that phone call I heard, it just felt like a different vibe. And then when all this shit happened, it really threw me for a loop. Because I'm like, damn, like, I don't know. Quando was just keeping an extra G on the phone. But then when I go back, it was definitely a cryptic phone call between Brick Baby and Quando Rondo on that. Like, it was fucking crazy, bro. But, hey, free fucking Durk. Let's see what Jake had to say.
Yeah, let's keep going.
No, makes more sense that he was talking about someone's mom hypothetically watching the news of their son's death and screaming no. Because who the fuck could have predicted 7 months into the future that Quando Rondo would be screaming no?
So this is the part that gets me, and I know a lot of people are mad at me about this. As Jake said, Jake's taken Lil Durk at his word, and I know Jake fucks with Durk, and that's cool. But, like, it's like, how could you have predicted 7 months into the future the Quando would be screaming no? I don't know if you could. I don't know if that's a coincidence that's possible. It just seems so much more likely, in my own personal opinion, that the murder happened and he either tweaked the song or recorded this particular lyric after the murder happened and just made fun of the fact that Quando was screaming no. I don't think you could have. I don't think it's a coincidence.
But also making fun of the fact that and you know, RIP everybody involved. But making fun of the fact that somebody died that you don't like on a song doesn't mean that you necessarily did it.
Nah, but the lyric before is like green light, got location. Like that's the thing is like, like
I'm trying to save face for him.
No, but
I'm trying to save face for him, Ross.
I'm not.
He
trying
innocent,
I
Ross.
ain't trying. This is the thing. I'm not trying to be a fed on purpose.
Nah, I'm 100%.
I'm just being realistic and honest.
Nah,
like
for sure.
we talking about the lyric, the famous lyric, right? Told me they got an Addy. Let's even go back.
Damn.
like this is the one that gets me about this particular song because it's just like that we go back line by line. It gets worse. I don't know why the feds are so focused on this line because everything before it is insane too. Like let's go all the way back. I think about my brothers I lost. I'm in my feelings. It's so effed up. I'd rather go get revenge instead of millions. Durkio call me Smirkio, then it's personal. This area don't matter. The dude asked me who I killed before, like who you working for. This song was released after the murder. Say my name for clout, but in them streets, they ask on hurt you though. They ask on hurt. Who's they? Told me they got an Addy. Got location. Go. Green light. Go. Who's giving the green light? Who's actually giving the green light? Who's telling who they got the location and got the Addy? And then after all of that self-snitching, right, that people want to ignore, then it's look on the news and see your son screaming no, no, and all them dudes hanging with him. If you know, you know. Dudes hanging with him. Quando ain't even the one that get hit. Like that's the thing. Is like when you read this, I'm just like, bro, I can't I can't overlook the fact that it's like all the stuff that goes before it. This lyric has been a dude asked who I killed before, like who you working for, bro. Like this came out after the murder, bro. This came out December 2022. The murder was in August 2022, and we're supposed to just believe like, nah, you recorded this before, like, bro, how? I mean, the one op that I hate from over there just got his head pierced. Like, bro, we saw what happened. This is insane. And I know you want to.
But that right there is a little. That line right there. All right, he don't hate Lil Pop. So that one op from over there.
But Lil Pab was on the phone call with, with them guys making fun of them. You know, making fun of Lil Varney and stuff. So and Diss and Durk. So
I mean,
but then again, could he be on the radar? I don't know. Like, could he really be on Durk's radar? Is that opposite?
Even if alright, so say hypothetically Durk did do it or whatever, I don't think Lil Pop was the intended target. If so, I think that was just random. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
If Durk did have anything to do with it, but fucking, I don't know. This these lyrics are crazy though. Like, ain't no denying. Like this song right here is like, nigga, what the fuck? Like,
bro, it's a rough one. It's a rough one. That's the thing. Is like when you actually look at it and look at all the lyrics and break them down, it's like, bro, come on, man. Like,
but at the end of the day, like Durk, his whole career is he's been dissing people and shit. He's been trolling, and I'm not even gonna say trolling, but he's been playing with edgy lyrics about, you know what I'm saying, death and op slide and all that type of shit. So like I said, he got Brian Steele. So like if Brian Steele could just, you know what I'm saying, if they don't have proof that Durk paid these dudes the hire, then I don't know, there's reasonable doubt. So maybe he could walk away from this shit with the Brian Steele cook up. Like how I just seen, like, even though Thug wasn't facing the feds, he was facing the state, you know what I'm saying, which is different. Usually the feds is like 98% conviction rate, some crazy number like that. So it's like, this is gonna be tough. But like right now, I haven't seen any like evidence that I'm like, oh yeah, he's fully cooked. Like, ain't no walking back from this shit. Like,
hey, how much do you think Brian Steele's hourly rate went up after he beat the Thug case? Because I bet Durk's got to be paying the new price.
Man,
you know what I'm
he
saying?
gotta be paying the new price.
Durk paying the new price.
I don't know, but I don't know. I think Brian Steele also sees it as a business investment in like working with, because like you see how much attention he got from messing with Thug, even though like he's been around, but like this Thug case put him on a higher profile. So like he know doing the Durk case, I don't know if it's gonna be like televised and shit like how it was in Atlanta. Like, I don't think they do that in LA court system and shit, but because like Tory Lane shit wasn't really on TV, right? They had people. Nah, it wasn't. They didn't broadcast it. But I think Brian Steele definitely is. He knows that working with this Durk case is gonna give him the attention to get more clients in the future. But man, like I seen some shit where academics was saying that if Durk don't beat this shit, he going broke, and I was like, yeah. Cause you got, you know, the money slow. Regardless if you beat it, it's a lot of money he probably got to spend right now. Cause like to keep the bills going.
But he got a lot of money, so he might as well spend it on this. I mean, your freedom's worth more than anything else.
100%. But at the end of the day, you don't want to spend all your money just to beat a case you know you ain't finna beat, and then now you just spent all the money that you could have just. But at the end of the day, your freedom is everything. So like, nigga, if you got a chance to be in this shit, do what you got to do. But when I seen academics say that he think Durk gonna go broke after this shit, I was like, damn, like,
Brian.
fuck.
That Brian Steele new price man's gonna hit.
On the news, But the feds shot back, saying it doesn't matter if fan-made video edits made things look a certain way, or if the timing of the lyrics didn't add up. They are literally still trying to use his lyrics against him just because it's talking about murder, even if it isn't this murder. The feds would also point out Durk offered the same amount of money as last time for bond and it was rejected. And Durk's legal team didn't even try to prove he wasn't a danger to the community and didn't try to flee. The feds would state Durk wasn't arrested because of fan-made videos. He was arrested because he is alleged to be the leader of a violent organization, orchestrated and funded an execution-style murder with machine guns, and tried to flee the country.
Now, like, that's really where this is all, like, you know, Jake got the work, right? Jake got the paperwork, so shout out to Jake.
Yeah.
But, like, bruh, like, that's how they're going to get him on this thing. That's how, it's like, statements like this of like, bro, don't worry about the lyrics. You are the leader of OTF, a violent organization that committed murder. Like, we just got to prove you're the boss at OTF. And the fact you're controlling the credit cards and telling people what to put on the card and what not to avoid detection of a crime, they're finna wrap you up on the RICO level and just, like, put you away on that. So I feel like this is a way harder case than Thug's case. It's a way different case, and I feel like it's stuff like this where it's like, bro, you can fight about the lyrics, but we painting you as the head of this. And this isn't me wishing on Durk's downfall. This is just like, bro, if this is what the state are clapping back with, it's going to be a tough one for you to just say, well, the lyrics, this is a fan-made video. It's like, bro, we're just going to throw more stuff to just paint you as the leader of OTF. And if we got all the shooters on camera at OTF, the rental car in certain people's names, people driving around with, you know, who bought the ski masks and gave the ski masks to the hitters, like, it's just not, this ain't going to work, unfortunately.
So what if all those dudes literally get on the stand and be like, I did this shit, Durk ain't have shit to do with this?
I don't think that's going to work because they're all under OTF. And he big OTF. That's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? But, like, here's the thing.
So you saying my boy Cook?
It's not looking good. It's really not looking good.
It's
and that's
not,
not
but
me. That's not me trying to put him down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think Jake might have more
Alleged to be the leader of a violent organization, orchestrated and funded an execution-style murder with machine guns, and tried to flee the country. Durk named himself The Voice, and the feds allege he's used that voice to speak on violence as he rapped about paying for murders, hunting his ops with switches, bounty hunters in Beverly Hills, and other lyrics that can all somewhat be related to the murder of Lil Pab. The feds would also highlight a song Durk had with Gucci Mane titled Rumors, in which Durk said, I don't want the you catch, I want the one I paid for. So again, the feds are desperately attempting to use lyrics.
Now, admittedly, this lyric actually dropped before the murder happened, but it don't matter because it's like we got you on songs talking about I don't want the dude you caught, I want the one I paid for. So you pay for murders, you pay for people getting caught, and then 6 months later someone got caught. It's almost like what they're doing that's smart is that they're basically saying, oh, okay, Durk, your defense is that, oh, that song with Babyface Ray dropped, I recorded that before the murder, even though it came out after the murder. The state are basically going, okay, well, here's you on a song in February.
Talking about murders.
6 months saying that you pay for murders, or so you pay for people to get caught. So, you know, which is it? Like, we can grab something before the murder where you said your intention to make the murder happen, or we can grab something after the murder where you're boasting about the murder and just wrap you up on both sides. That's why it's smart. What the Fed's doing here is low-key smart, because they're like, this Durk's like, this song, this was recorded before the murder happened, and they're like, okay, here's one from before the murder happened where you said I'm paying for murders to happen.
But this is getting scary because then now at this point it's just like, so you can just use any lyric that's ever been said, because like I thought artists and shit were like protected under like the.
This is the thing, though. This is the thing that gets me, that frustrates me, and this aspect of the Thug case kind of annoyed me because it's like, it's only art if it ain't provable. Like, if this is the one that people keep bringing up. They say that Bob Marley, like, or I shot the sheriff. It's like, that's all well and good as art until there's a dead sheriff. You know what I'm saying? Until someone spun on a sheriff, and then there's actual, like, we can actually link, well, this happened. You in the song screaming no, the guys on the news screaming no at the dead body. It's kind of like, if all of Durk's songs were just like, I'm a hitter, I get you hit. It's like,
it's been like that for a long ass time though.
But then he's talking about screaming no, and he's talking about like, I want the one I paid for. You talking about paid murder for hire rather than just like, I'm a hitter, I'm a gangster. You getting specific. You mimicking the sounds that the guy made at the scene where the murder happened. I feel like that's where he went, overboard with it and like
but that is
backtrack now.
But that is not that far fetched from the drill rappers that are coming up in today's time. Lil Durk has been dissing rappers and shit, so I don't know. Like I said, it's still that reasonable doubt of a lawyer still being able to prove like you don't have proof that my client actually was involved in hiring these guys to do the murder. These guys just went out on their own and did what the fuck they did. Now I'm not saying like, hey, at the end of the day, these lyrics are crazy. So like, I hope Durk didn't know anything about that shit, but this shit do look ugly. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. But like I said, like when you got Brian still on the team, I'm just not gonna say he's just cooked all the way yet. But
yeah, no, he might make something happen, but there's more. The state really got on his case
to fit their narrative. The feds are saying if the lyrics aren't true, it doesn't matter because Durk is dangerous. But then they try to show more lyrics after saying the other lyrics don't matter. The feds would end their summary stating it isn't about how Durk made his money, but about how he chose to spend it and wield his power in 2022 on death and violence. And keep in mind, everything spoke on in this video isn't in regards to beating the case, it's for Durk to be granted a bond in which he'll be placed on house arrest. Durk would be handing over a substantial amount of money while being placed on a GPS monitor, eliminating the possibility of him fleeing the country. The chances of him having the ability to commit...
So what I will say, I don't think he's gonna get a bond is because, all right, so I don't know if you remember the whole big academic stream where everyone like, me, academics, and Whack 100 knew beforehand that Durk was arrested, or it was rumored that.
I remember this, yeah.
But no... I mean, Wack was cool with it, but me and academics, we didn't want to break the news because it wasn't on like for sure. Because like it was rumored that he was arrested, and Wack was telling me, hey, they got the nigga locked up, and I'm knowing, but the world not knowing. But I didn't be the one because if the break news like this, I want to be 100% sure. Like Wack, my guy, I just can't go off your word. But with that being said, it was a situation where like. Damn, I lost my train of thought, but like we were.
But it was basically like you didn't want to reveal it in case it was or wasn't true. But it was like there was little leaks of information going around, like because essentially there was a period of like a day where Lil Durk was essentially not on the run, but like all of the OTF guys had been locked and he was just outside, and that was when he was trying to get out of the country allegedly.
That's my point. That's why I get back to my point. I think he would have probably, and I still don't think they would have gave him bond, but him. Fucking ordering 3 different plane tickets is like, nah, you're a flight risk, bro. So like
Thanks.
Now, like, all right, you showed us already that you were trying to leave and flee the country. So like, why would we grant you bond now when you showed your hand before you even got arrested? So I think that's the fucked up thing where he's not gonna be able to get a bond because of that for sure.
This is why he's screwed for bond though, because it's like last time he was trying to get a bond, they started bringing up the Stefan Mack other alleged murder for hire, which he hasn't actually been indicted in, but he's basically been brought up in an indictment where these 2 other guys that have been caught up in this murder. People have been allegedly caught on tape and like tapped messages basically saying, yo, don't give you that money yet. And it's like, that's being used to block him from bond. So it's like, anytime he's trying to get a bond, they got stuff to just throw straight back at him to be like, nah, this is a reason why, And that's why it's not looking good, because they got all this alleged 20,000 pages of information, all this stuff they just finna throw back. So again, I ain't wishing the downfall, but like, it's not good. The prosecution have got a lot to throw at the wall here, and like Durk's kind of really trying to pinch for very specific things, like the fan made edit, like for you to think that that's going to get you out on bond is like, it's a long shot. And hey, maybe that's a Brian Steele move, but like, you know, now that the way that the feds have clapped back, it's like you can't really see the court going for it.
Nah, I don't see them giving him a bond. I don't see them giving him a bond at all.
I mean, it would be
it'll be lit. Like, imagine Lil Durk get out on bond right now. Like, it's fucking up. But
mixtape ready to come.
I think he really fucked himself with the day that everyone was trying to speculate if he was locked up and then the flights and all that shit. I think that right there just like showed that you're a flight risk. So like putting you on monitor and shit now, like I don't know.
Yeah.
More crime under strict supervision is close to none. So it would appear if he was released, he not only wouldn't be a flight risk, he wouldn't be dangerous. But we'll just have to wait and see what the courts decide. Now this is interesting. I don't know if it was just timing or the feds literally responded to the video I made like, nah, 1090 Jake, he sounds too good.
I think the feds defo tapped in with 1090 Jake, man. They keeping an eye on it, man.
Man, they definitely watching what's going on.
He got the work, man, so they need to keep tapped in. They need to stay subscribed, man. But look, I feel like Jake's kind of like, on top of the news. He's keeping to the cutting edge of what's going on.
Yeah, 100%.
But I also think that you and Jake are in the camp of like, you kind of want Durk to be out, and I'm not. Like, so we're
gonna, you want him locked up.
No, it's not that even not I want him locked up, but based on all the stuff that I've seen and that I've heard and having looked into it and heard the lyrics and just followed the case for years ever since Von died, it's just hard for me to believe that like he finna be getting out or he finna be talking his way out of this one. You know what I mean? Like, so look, I dropped my video basically yesterday talking about the phone call, and I said that Durk sounds defeated and he sounds like he's finished with this case and that he's tired basically. And like, look, that was just me being honest. But I did feel like a lot of people took it the wrong way. A lot of people were upset, and I feel like we should just react to that.
Yeah, let me hear what you said.
Address. I mean, there's a whole 30-minute thing, so I'm saying the same shit as I'm saying to you now.
Yeah.
Is that like I feel like I don't know. So let's look at the comments, and you're gonna get the gist. It's like people saying Durk doesn't sound defeated. I thought he sounded defeated on the phone call. He kind of sounded downtrodden, and like in this video, I compared Durk on the call to Durk when he was puffing up his chest in the academics interview and kind of being like, I don't know why they don't say slide for Von no more. It's like he sounds like a different man. He's downtrodden now. He knows the consequences of what's going on. It's catching up with him, and like,
and ain't even that, bro.
That's how I felt.
Nigga, being in jail, you gonna be sounding defeated. Even if you was in jail for parking tickets, nigga. Like, if you was booked for parking tickets, you're not finna be sounding happy-go-lucky from a jail phone. So yeah, of course he's gonna sound a little defeated, but you can't compare it to the academics interview. Like, of course it's gonna be like a different level of tone. So yeah, I expected that phone call. First of all, Luce being able to get him on a phone call is crazy anyway, especially with all the shit Luce been saying about Big U and shit. I didn't even expect Durk to even want to just, you know what I'm saying, to accept, like, yeah, I'm going to get on the phone with academics through Luce. Like, maybe I thought maybe he wouldn't be rocking on Luce, just all the shit that's been going on. But, like, I don't know, it's a lot going on with the whole fucking Luce and Brick being in jail. But it's surprising that Durk is, I'm not surprised that Durk's tone is like that. Me personally, he sounded defeated, but he didn't sound like he's just giving up. Like, at the end of the day, he still got his kids and shit out here. Like, his dad did like a 20-year bid, so like I'm pretty sure him and his dad's tapped in and keeping them, you know what I'm saying, strong, and he's staying on his faith and shit. But like at the end of the day, bro, when you facing life, how lit can he sound? You know what I'm saying? Nigga, you looking at life.
Like, I get what you're saying, but it's like it's the circumstances. He's looking at life as the result of like, you know,
why he sounds like
gone down.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
Again, it's just like I just felt like he didn't sound like, yo, I'm finna, like, this is the case against me, the allegations are absolute garbage, like, this ain't true. Like, he sounded kind of just like, yeah, man, like, I'm just, you know what I'm saying, I'm in here.
He sounded like he just know.
What happens, you know.
But at the end of the day, bro,
like, you shouldn't be there, bro. You shouldn't be there. You shouldn't. That route this shouldn't have been an option. This shouldn't have been a conclusion.
But you can't say that, though, because, like, I don't know, like, we can't act dumb and act like we're not surprised, like, this is the fate of, like, nigga, at the end of the day, Durk's whole career has been based off drill and street shit, so, like, saying that he shouldn't be there, I'm not saying Durk shouldn't be in jail. Of course he shouldn't be in there, but I'm not going to act like the music and shit that he wasn't making that I'm just shocked by, like, oh my God, like, Durk got locked up.
I think this was a thing that upset some people from what I said, is like, I basically kind of said, like, in many ways, like, signing Von was one of the worst things Durk could have done, because you ain't never heard about Durk putting no hits on people until you start seeing Von, the big killer, coming around, and then you're seeing FBG Ducks dying, and D-Thang's involved in it, and then you're seeing Von die, and then you're seeing Quando getting shot at a bunch of times. It's like, this is why I feel like it's disappointing, because Durk was definitely from the Chicago drill scene and he suffered a lot of losses in the streets, but he was never known as the guy that was calling hits on people and having people killed and killing people. And it's like that demonic Von energy dragged Durk down into a very dark place. And, you know, yeah, we'll see the conclusion of the trial, but like, had Von not been around, had this not happened, had Von not been unfortunately creating a very messed up situation the night that he passed away, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. And again, I think that's hard for a lot of people to hear, but it's like Durk wasn't really that guy that you would think would be catching murder for hire charges in 2019.
You'll be surprised when niggas really be having going on behind the scenes, so I ain't gonna say that. But what I would say is that I think King Von energy definitely rolled over in the Durk, where, you know what I'm saying, he seen that, because like Von came out dissing, like that nigga was not, you know what I'm saying, even at his peak. His album, like his first album, the nigga dissing Wooski and niggas on there. So like, I think Durk definitely carried that energy with him, and I think it definitely led him down a bad path for sure. But I can't just say it's all Von's fault, because at the end of the day, ain't no telling what niggas been doing, and you know what I'm saying. But Von definitely had some influence on Durk for sure, because like, I don't know, the energy that Von energy was so teed up that it couldn't help but to just carry over to Durk. Cause like nigga, Von was Von. Like that nigga Von really was on some different level shit where it's just like it was just inevitable for Durk to want to like follow in that light because he just seen how it was working. Cause to be 100, I feel like that drill shit picked back up for Durk after he signed King Von. Cause like it's two different things we're not gonna act like Durk didn't fall off, but then like him beefing with 6ix9ine. Then Drake giving him the feature on top of the King Von signing. Like, it was a whole bunch of things that just kind of, like, in the B100, I think, I blame a lot of this shit on Kanye West, which is funny because, like, I think Durk got the Drake feature because he was beefing with Kanye West at the time, right? Wasn't Drake and Kanye beefing? So I think he was like, you know what, I'm going to put Durk on the song right here. This is the King of Chicago. They had the Chicago Bulls jersey and shit. It teed Durk back up. Oh yeah. King Von lit. So you know the motion and shit. Niggas just got big headed and shit.
And then like a couple days later, FBG Duck gets killed. So you know they had a lot of things going on.
Damn, you on point. Like, days. And then they said a couple days later, like goddamn. But I feel like Durk. I mean, I feel like the crazy thing is though, like not to put all this on Kanye West, but like. If Kanye West would have never made that song when he said, Chief Keef, King Louis, this the shot, right? How much shit came from that? Because, like, that moment literally put America on drill music. That moment.
All the eyes were just on that scene, you know. Chief Keef had done his thing, but it was like, Ye coming in and kind of claiming
Hopping on the I Don't Like remix, and then the last thing you heard was Chief Keef, King Louis, this the shot, right? Right? We need to go back in time. That moment was so powerful that I don't even think Kanye realized what he did. Like he opened the world like to this drill shit, and I feel like now this is just years later.
No, that's facts. That's a good point, man. That's facts. So look, we'll wrap it up in a sec because we've been talking about this for a while, but I just want to basically confront some of these comments, man. People saying, look, sounds like Trap Lord Ross wishes he could be the prosecutor on this case, and definitely looks like he'd love to prosecute Lil Durk and his friends. This is what.
Nah, you definitely sound like you're trying to prosecute that nigga.
No, but I feel like I want to address this because I feel like people think that I've got some vendetta against Durk or I want to prosecute him. It's more a case of just like, bro, this is a giant federal case that they've dropped on top of him. So few people beat these federal cases. They're saying they got 20,000 pages of evidence. It's not, I wish I could prosecute him. I'm just being realistic to the fact that, like, I watched all of this unfold. I was a fan of King Von. I saw King Von's whole reputation blow up. I saw him pass away. I saw this revenge campaign against Quando, who ultimately, in that situation where the fight happened, Quando didn't do anything wrong. He didn't want anything to do with this situation. And then we see Lil Durk basically promise to get back on Von, get back for Von all of these years. Yeah. Get Quando, and then the situation's gone down. I remember seeing that first thing on the news. Right, it took about 10 seconds to watch that footage of Quando screaming no on the news and be like, this Lil Durk's arranged line this shit up.
I ain't gonna say that.
Bruh.
I ain't gonna say that. Bro, we not finna we can't sit there and say that when we knew that Durk, people were assuming that, but also with it being in LA, it was hard to believe like Durk. I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, yeah, Durk maybe had something to do, but we would have never thought that it was the initial OTF. I don't know.
On Quando Rondo getting shot up, like in this random, like completely stalked into a gas station and shot up. His man dies in front of him on camera. And
in
all
LA.
The stuff that had happened, and they tried to kill him in Waycross, Georgia before. And it's just like, come on, the first person you're thinking is Durk. The fact that anyone even thought they could get away with this is crazy. And that's not, I'm not desperate to prosecute him. It's just like following the situation of slide for Von. Somebody slid on Quando. It's not rocket science, and that's not.
What I'm trying to say, I'm new to the fact that niggas is catching hats in L.A. from Chicago. That's where I'm like, oh damn, like
that the was fact that it was shocking. But the murder was basically very similar to FBG Duck, but on a nationwide scale.
But that happened in Chicago. So that happened in Chicago, I could be like, all right, it probably from Chicago. But Lil Pop getting killed in L.A., I assume like, hey, it's just some random gang members. Maybe trying to get some clout and get cool with Durk.
But people been saying
it's
there was
super surprising to be like, wait, these niggas came from Chicago on a plane, and these are all OTF niggas that did it. You would assume that it would maybe be some California dudes that did it and maybe knew Durk. That's what I would assume that way before I assumed it was OTF members in the car.
You was thinking it was Durk related though.
I ain't gonna say I didn't think that, but I'm saying OTF members directly. Hell no, that's the craziest part. It's like what the fuck, like y'all need like you would have think like niggas saying that the Rolling 60s and all shit. They locked. You would have just thought it was some random Crips or some random Bloods that did it. But it's like, wait, OTF members? They saying that OTF members flew on a jet? Like what? Like,
well, within like a week of Von dying, Quando was openly claiming there's $1 million on his head, right? So it's like, when you got $1 million on your head after this situation, if something happens to you, bro, we know who to look at. And that's not being a Fed. That's just like, bro, you had the most famous feud with the most famous rapper. Not the most famous rapper, like you had the most famous feud in hip hop. This is the Tupac Biggie of this generation. When Von died, that was the biggest news in hip hop.
Yeah.
And we've been knowing that everyone's saying Lil Durk slide for Von, all of this stuff. And then someone ended up getting slid on. So that's why I feel like it's just, it was always inevitable. But like, you know, it's kind of like, it's just, you know, it's just, I don't know. It's just like,
it's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate, but it's just
like, damn, bro.
Like, I feel like, and then this is what I'm getting from the comments. Like, obviously, a lot of people hating. They're saying it's the worst video in a while. I'm coming across as an asshole, cocky as F. I don't know, Ross. What do you expect him to sound like? You want to start talking that gang shit on a federal detention phone? Okay, fine. People say so the police hating activities are getting out of hand, but it's like I'm not wishing on prison on anyone. I'm not the law authority. It's just like it was obvious from the day that this happened that this had something to do with Lil Durk.
But you ain't getting that nigga no leash of innocence. You're just like, oh, you're cooked. You ain't like, I mean, you're just like, you're damning him like, man, it look like they got you, fucking.
Like, bro, it's
Durk.
Just, it's like they saying like, you know.
All right, let me ask you this: out of a 1 through 10, all right, 1 through 5, 5 being the highest, what is the likelihood that Durk is gonna get locked up forever? Out of 1 through 5, if 5 being the highest probability,
4, I'd say a 4. He's got a chance, but it's like from the moment this happened. You got to remember as well, right? This isn't. A lot of people woke up and were surprised by this news and couldn't believe what they were reading.
Yeah.
Someone like me that's been following the King Von story for so long and has been following Durk's story for so long, it's like, you know, Lil Pab gets killed, then Loyal Bros comes out and you're listening to these lyrics and you're like, whoa, like you're talking about, you know that we did it, all of this stuff, like all of these lyrics, all of these songs, all of these different things that are coming out where Durk is just like, you know, forget about that Babyface Ray song, right? Who remembers this song with 21 Savage? War About It. Right? You want to talk about he never said no. He didn't sample the thing from Quando getting killed, Quando's cousin getting killed. Well, how about this song where we got Lil Durk talking about you know, the entire chorus. He say no, I'm thinking that a hoe got him. He say no, I said let's go to war. But where he go, you better know the more got him, bro. This came out in 2023. Like you was claiming the no, like you done the no on multiple songs. Like you'd been done the no.
But him rapping about the no shit could just be him mocking the fact that he had beef with Quando Rondo and he don't like Quando and someone in Quando camp died. So of course it's just easy for them just to like, you know what? You killed my homie, I'm gonna mock your homie.
Okay, I'll give you that, right? But it's like, that's all well and good if you didn't have anything to do with it. But the federal law enforcement are coming in and saying, we have evidence that you have something to do with this. And he was in LA. Bear in mind, right, I'm hearing all of these songs and thinking, damn, he's talking a little bit hot. Without knowing that he was in LA or flown in on a private jet.
That's
in
why
LA
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, because there's no way you're that dumb to let these niggas come do a crime off cards you paid for and you be in LA at the same time. There's no way Durk knew this shit was going down. Like, there's no way, like, hey, y'all niggas go kill Lil Pop and I'm finna fly out to LA. Why y'all niggas out here to make sure the job is done? Like,
that's the best defense I've heard of this, because it's almost like, bro, how?
It's just like how it's like, bro, ain't no way, nigga, that's dumb. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's why I'm like, bro, it gotta be like, I don't know. That's why Brian still might be cooking up the ultimate, you know what I'm saying, defense for my boy. Smirk might be walking home, but hey. It sounds crazy. The lyrics sound crazy though.
I'm not gonna say free Durk. I hope Durk gets like a completely fair trial. I hope he gets like, you know, an opportunity to defend himself. If he's got a really great defense, I want to hear it. I want to see it in court. I want to see him clear his name and prove it. But at the same time, like, having followed the situation, you know, it's hard for me to imagine he finna beat this and he finna get bail. And that's no disrespect. And like, I'm a huge fan of Durk. I respect Durk. I admire Durk. But if it turns out he really did this, it is disappointing, because a minute ago you were talking about all my life they've been trying to keep me down. You're changing your ways. And if really behind the scenes you were actually having. That's why this is unfortunate.
Man, that nigga
Quando,
knew them feds was hot. Niggas was coming together trying to sing that shit because they knew it was hot, nigga.
Bro,
I'm saying free Durk regardless. I'm saying free any black man that's locked up. We don't need to see nobody locked up and shit. Don't get me wrong. Murder is wrong. I'm 100% against murdering somebody.
No more innocent young men losing their lives.
100%. We don't want to see nobody losing their lives either and shit. But it's a fucked up situation because it's just like no one wins at the end of the day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Pop's gone. And now if Durk gets life in jail, he's gone. So it's like all this shit is just, it's dumb and it's fucked up and like it's over a chick. Allegedly, like supposedly, like
man, the story gets deep. But look, that's my response. Look, no disrespect, didn't mean to put anyone down. I know, if you unsubscribe because of the last video of me giving my opinion on Durk, that's unfortunate.
Free Durk, free Durk.
We're gonna free Durk. We're gonna free Durk. Let's free Durk. Yeah,
free Durk.
Let's
man.
free Durk.
Free Durk for sure.
I guess we'll free Durk. That's right. Well, if whatever happens after we free Durk, that's on you.
That's on them, Durk. If you get out and them, you know what come with this shit. Durk, no.
Don't do it again. Anyway. We finished. We done that clip. We out of here.
Y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. Come on.
Pow.